Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting playoff game here in Nemesis Gaming League. I am joined in the booth with none other than Bagels. Bagels, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Just got off work. Excited to see the matches right now and the rest of the matches tonight. Unfortunately, the Banshees kind of just got clapped. So not too excited about that. But maybe the Wisps might have a chance against Diffusion here. But based on that previous match we saw on Wednesday, Diffusion, it was close between Diffusion and Acceleration, even though they got swept. So I'm looking for Cal Target and company to come back hot against my team there.
Yeah, the Diffusion coming off of getting swept, and the Wisps coming off of sweeping. So two very different degrees of momentum coming into this one. But I do have to say that whoever does take this one has a tough game against the Kiwis coming up next, or coming up later in the week. So, but both teams very talented, both teams very deserving of being here. And Bagels, who do you think is taking this one?
You know, I'm looking at my little org chat right now, and I'm not seeing one of the starters for my team. So we're using our sub. But even with our normal player, I might have to give the edge to Diffusion. I think just the match between Diffusion and Acceleration. Every game was a one-goal game, and I think Diffusion just had a few unfortunate things go their way. And that series between them and Acceleration was honestly probably one of the best series of the playoffs, even though it was a sweep. So I think Diffusion have a pretty confident chance right here.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you. I think Diffusion definitely looks really good right now, and we've already seen what can happen when a team has a sub in. So, but maybe Wisps can turn that around and take this series.
Yeah, it's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities. And I think back when this was the RLCS format and currently in Nemesis, whoever comes down from the 3-4 seed matchup, I don't know exact statistics, but it's definitely like 90% of the time the team that has a second life ends up losing twice. So Wisps could have an opportunity right there.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about because a lot of the times the teams from the lower brackets ended up winning the finals and the grand finals in the RLCS. So that's part of the reason the format changed, and we'll see if that can hold true for these teams on the lower bracket as War popping it up high and dunking Sicko into the box. Invante, I guess that's how you pronounce that, with a shot just wide of the net, cleared away by Sicko. Bachman looking to clear this one out of his half and has some space to work with, but War takes it, bounces it straight up, and Sicko finally gets this one into the Wisp pass and gets an incredible dunk and puts in an early goal.
Yeah, kind of a unfortunate situation for Wisps. They had so much time on that blue half and then one breakout opportunity and Diffusion get right back into it and take the lead actually, and a slight mistouch coming out from Rhodey. I think he wanted to put that one to the corner, but Diffusion will happily capitalize on that opportunity.
Yeah, both teams being friendly. Sicko gives the ball to Rhodey, and Rhodey gives it right back to him, and Sicko puts it in the net. And just like that, the momentum is all in Diffusion's favor. As they're already on offense again, and Sicko with a great
Oh,
shot, but a team save keeps that one out of the back of the net for now. Ward gets a big touch away from Caltarded, and Invante sending it downfield. Caltarded off the wall. That's a dangerous ball as Ivante takes a shot off of Sicko and in.
that may have been the luckiest save I've ever seen, as both players pre-flipping in opposite directions to send it away, and then they're able to come back with a counterattack of their own. So extended pressure does not seem to be working out for the team on offense at the moment.
No, definitely a game dictated by counterattacks right now as Sicko looking to get a cheeky kickoff goal, but he passes it down to Caltarded, who beats the defense.
Yeah, and this time, no counterattack, I guess. The kickoff just deciding it right away, and Sicko able to sneak its way, or sneak that ball past everybody, and Countarded there for the cleanup.
And a very back and forth game we have is Bachman wins a solid kickoff, and Sicko takes a shot on net, and Rhodey not quite able to react fast enough, and the Diffusion is up 3-1.
Yeah, and that's just a poor touch from War and another kickoff goal there for Diffusion. I mean, maybe Rhodey could have rotated a little bit further back, but still just a solid banger coming out from Sicko to give themselves a 2-goal lead early.
And just great shooting by both teams. It really just seems to be the defense that's fallen apart here. Is Sicko already putting pressure back on, but Ivante, uh, is that how you pronounce that, Bagels? Ivante?
I mean, I just picked up the man like a few days ago, but I'm pretty sure it's Ivante. But you know what? Who's to say? You could
All
just
right,
call him Vontae.
we'll call him Vante. Is Rhodey can't quite make contact there. Ball cleared away. Og Bachman trying to apply some pressure, but gets an unfortunate touch. Passes it back to Caltarded, who gets dunked. Sicko playing this off his own wall towards his half. Vontae couldn't quite get it. Bachman putting pressure. Rhodey controlling this one out. Sicko playing it to the midfield. Vontae sends it down. Can't quite get a shot on net as Bachman looking to clear it away. And Bagels, although the score's 3-1, it seems like it's been very back and forward as Rhodey gets a great save and finally gets the ball cleared.
Yeah, I mean, definitely back and forth. I mean, if we take the 2 kickoff goals out of the equation, it is a 1-1 game, and the pressure, besides the opening minute, has not been able to stand on one side of the field for too long. And I feel like the Wisps actually look kind of better than Diffusion at the moment. I mean, Diffusion have certainly put on some high quality shots that have found their way in. And here's another one that might lead to an opportunity. The demo comes out, but Bachman can't find the shot. But it just seems like this is certainly Ivante's first time as he's going for a pre-jump, playing with the team. So we're gonna have to work out some growing pains for sure.
Yeah, the Vontae going for the clip couldn't quite get it, but I would have definitely jumped on my seat if that happened. But even though he might be a sub, he is fitting in well here as Caltarded puts one off the post and Bachman just slots it over the last defender.
Yeah, that was just an awkward play. I mean, Coutarded jumped up early, and that final Wisps defender kind of thought there was an opportunity for a shot to develop, but no touch ended up coming out, and Cow, he landed on the ball and dished it straight back out the midfield. And now with a 3-goal lead here with just over a minute left, Wisps are probably going to be having to look on to game 2 to find their way back in this series, but still, like you said, with the sub, and honestly, the way Vontae is playing, I feel like if he could just avoid the double commits slightly and work his way into the rotation, he actually looks like a pretty solid player.
Yeah, leading the scoreboard for the Wisps right now is definitely looking to make a name for himself, trying to earn a spot on a roster for next season. As Vontae clears this one to the side, and War with the with the backflip, but the didn't get scored on, so that's fortunate. As Caltarded looking to control this one up the wall, Vontae back passes it to Rhodey, who sends it down to Bachman, who pops it up, but no one can quite make the touch. As War, uh, Vontae taking it off of War and sending it downfield, looking to pass this one middle. He gets it there, but no one on his team is there to shoot. Sicko looking for the big clear. Rhodey sends it down, and with 4 seconds left, Bagels, that does it for game one. Diffusion takes the early lead in the series.
Yeah, definitely, and I have to see if some sort of last second opportunity comes out here, but it will touch the ground. Um, and even though it was a 3-goal disparity, I mean, not just the org bias included, but I do feel like this was a pretty even matchup. The shot differential says otherwise, but I feel like if Wisps can just avoid those double commits with Vontae and avoid those 2 kickoff goals, it could have been a completely different game one, but either way, I could see them with some room to bounce back here in this series. But on the opposite side, Diffusion kind of leaving where they left off on Wednesday with really high shot totals. They just couldn't match Acceleration's pace there on Wednesday.
Yeah, Diffusion, their offense is looking like it's firing on all cylinders right now. And Wisp, I agree with you. They looked good. They definitely just have to find a way to keep Rhodey from being stuck third man. A lot of those goals that happened Rhodey just so happened to be the last one back, and it didn't look great.
Yeah, just I think just the way the rotation's working out, the Wisps not being used to Vontae. I think Vontae and Charlie are two completely different players. It looks like Vontae just wants to be first man and be the aggressor, and I think they're used to Charlie being a little bit more passive, while Rhodey and War are the guys up front. But I think if they could just make some slight adjustments, as there's Vontae again kind of taking the ball away from his teammate, they can just communicate slightly earlier and more often. They could be more deadly on defense and offense against this solid Diffusion roster.
And we'll see if the team can mesh as this series goes on. That's one of the benefits of a 7-game series as opposed to a 5, as War looking to get some of the pressure out of his half, and Sicko keeps it in off the corner. The ball's bouncing middle, but Rhodey, a good clear downfield. Bachman sending it right back down to Sicko, who takes an early shot, but War pops it to his corner. Vontae down to War. War looking to chase this one and get a pass. Sends it middle. Vontae with a shot, but it's cleared away as Rhodey puts some more pressure on, but no one on his team in the box to shoot as Vontae sends this one back. Caltarded finally gets a big clear downfield into the Wisps corner, and a missed touch and a double commit sends this one away as Vontae gets credit for the save. Bachman passes it over one. Caltarded following him up, sending it downfield, and this ball lofted up high. Vontae does a good job touching it, and Sicko looking for an air dribble, but wasn't quite close to the ball. Caltarded looking to make something happen, but gets beat by Rhodey, and Rhodey Bagels, now that he's not hard lock third man, is doing great work getting this ball out of his half.
Yeah, certainly, and I think that's more in tune with the way the rotation's working out, as he is right there as third man, making a good save. Didn't actually get credit for it right there, but definitely seems like the rotation is in better order here as Bachman with the redirect off the post, Sicko for the follow-up, and an outstanding play and counterattack coming out from Diffusion.
Yeah, a great touch by Bachman, and good comms for them to leave that ball for Sicko, who puts it past the defender. That's a hard one to save at any rank, and Sicko making a case for the golden striker of this series.
Yeah, certainly an opportunity again off the kickoff, and there he is. I was about to say that Wisps have looked way better this game, but once again, it's a kickoff goal that's keeping them at bay, and Diffusion are just going to keep capitalizing on these early opportunities.
Oh my goodness, Sicko with the read. That's impressive, as uh, Wisp need to do something to control these kickoffs so they're not getting punished. And Bachman pops this one up high down to Sicko, who flicks it over one, keeps dribbling it, gets it up high, beats two. Ivante rotated back and sends it away as he's looking to progress this ball down the field. Gets it over Bachman. Caltarded there to cut it off, but Rhodey there to send it downfield. Off to Fusion's backboard, but Sicko with a good read. War off the backboard again. Vontae already up, can't quite get the touch as Rhodey gonna bang it hard down and in.
That did not look like it was going in, but hey, I'm not going to complain. But Rhodey with a banger. I cannot believe that one went in, but they will absolutely take it.
Bagels, I swear I've hit that exact same shot and it did not go in. As it looked like most of the ball hit the corner of the net, but hey, the fortune is on their side as they're looking to get back in this one with some early pressure
Definitely.
put on by Moore. Sicko sends this one downfield. Caltarded looking to control it as Ivante clears this one. Bachman sends it down, and Rhodey with a big clear downfield. War continuing it, gets it past two. Caltardi gets bumped, bumps the goalie. Vontae puts it in, and the Wisps have tied it up.
I kind of missed out on what happened here for a second, but just looked like an unfortunate whiff from Sicko, and War found his way through two Diffusion players to give space to Vontae to put that one in. And I mean, if they really could not give up the kickoff goals, this would be a different series at the moment, as looks like Wisps are kind of starting to find their form despite the disparity in shot totals. They're still getting dominated in these shots, but overall the rotation looking cleaner and better from them. And here's another opportunity, but Fonte getting dunked out back to the midfield.
Yeah, Sicko is looking good on both sides of the ball as he stopped that threatening goal. And Bachman gets it over one, and Vontae there to make the save. Can't quite get another touch on it, though, as that's going to let Sicko take a touch on towards the net, but just wide as Rhodey almost sneaks it by Bachman, but a good recovery there by him. Vontae, hard off the sidewall, no one there to follow it, as Cal and Bachman Bachman, sorry, teaming up to clear that one. Bachman gets it over Vontae. Can't quite get the shot as this one's sent towards the corner. Rhodey looking to control it. Gets dunked hard by Caltarded. He's going to pass this one down to Sicko. Sicko can't quite get it as War sends this one down. And with 30 seconds left, Bagels, this one could be anybody's game.
Certainly, and this one almost lofting its way through, and much more of an even second half here in game two. It's more bumps looking for a goal here. Another good clear from Bachman, and I don't know, I get a feeling we might get one more goal here before regulation ends, but Diffusion are able to hold on in these final seconds so far.
Sicko looking to apply the pressure. Gets a demo in goal, but War sends this one to safety as that one's going to hit the ground. And we have our first overtime of the series. Bagels, who do you think overtime favors in this one?
I think overtime honestly favors the Wisps here, as Diffusion, they blew that 2-0 lead and allowed Wisps to get back into this game. And right now, it seems like they have the momentum, but the net is going to be open, and they're making me eat my words.
Sicko taking this one downfield by himself. Beats the last defender off the backboard and Caltarded in the right place at the right time. Puts the ball into the net to secure the win. And Diffusion goes up 2-0 in the series.
And kind of a heartbreaking loss to give up right there. And, I guess I take it back. The logic would have said Diffusion gets the benefit because they were under pressure for so long, so they get a little bit of a break and a little bit of a reset. So, I guess a lapse in judgment there from me, but yeah, Diffusion will take that 2-0 series lead in a game that Wisps probably should have won. And again, that's 3 kickoff goals they've given up now, and the other one with a great play we saw that great pass from Bachman back to the middle, and Sicko putting one in, and then Sicko putting in another one there in that OT. And if they could just control these kickoffs ever so slightly, just not have it go flying back on their side, I mean, they could keep themselves in these games and in this series perhaps, but at the moment, Diffusion are rolling on offense, and they're going to take the free goal when they find it.
Absolutely. And Diffusion, if I remember correctly, had 13 shots in that game. And when you're shaking that many shots, as Vontae puts an early shot in.
Yeah, definitely. And this time, Wisps on the other end of the kickoff goals, and a good bounce off that ceiling, and Vontae with the bounce shot able to slip its way literally past everyone. And you mentioned the shot totals. Diffusion have found double-digit shot totals, almost 15 shots in both game 1 and game 2, and I think Wisps have only been able to find around 6 or 7. So shot disparity still an issue here for the Wisps.
Yeah, I was going to say, before that goal went in, I was going to say that when you take that many shots, you're going to find the back of the net. But it seems like the Wisp looking for quality over quantities. They are 1-for-1 right now, as War looking to send this one middle, but Caltarded with good backboard defense stops that one. Trying to get control, but a big dunk from Vontae. Sicko there to stop it though, as Rhodey cutting the rotation there, sends it to War, who gets a good dunk across the field. Vontae with a solid touch to himself, but Bachman sending it away. And Bagels' Diffusion on offense and defense is looking solid right now, as they have not let another threatening shot come close to their net.
Yeah, I think pound for pound, when we're looking at these rosters, Diffusion, strictly looking at the players, as here's another opportunity for Rhodey, but he misses the shot, can't find the follow-up either. But we look at the rosters individually. We look at Sicko, Akbakman, and Kaltard, and we compare it to that of the Wisps. I mean, pound for pound, it does look like Diffusion has a better roster, and record would go to show you that. But unfortunately, Diffusion finding themselves in this lower quarterfinal. But so far, up 2-0 in the series, they're proving why they did so well in the regular season and looking to find their way against that all too tough opponent in Kiwis in the semis.
And if I'm the Kiwis, I am watching this game right now, and I am sweating with how good Diffusion looks as Caltarded gets a great read and puts a beautiful shot on the net.
Yeah, and a lot of space being given there. I mean, Akbakman, he hit that off the sidewall and was basically just standing underneath the ball, and nobody from Wisps challenged, and War was kind of slowly rolling his way on up, and he didn't even end up jumping. And Rhodey was sitting on the corner boost, so nobody ended up challenging that ball, and certainly somebody should have been on there that opportunity and pounce it to shut it down. But once again, Diffusion will take another easy goal that the Wisps are just continually allowing them to give up.
Absolutely, and they need to find some way to solidify that defensive rotation because the offense from the Wisps are looking really good as Vontae fakes one. Rhodey can't quite make contact, so Sicko, looking to apply pressure, bumps War into the ball straight to Caltarded, who quickly gets it cleared away by Vontae. Og Bachman off the wall, a double commit from Diffusion leaves it a little dangerous, but Vontae dribbling it on his goal line, that's some confidence from him as Rhodey finally gets this ball across midfield. War off the backboard, looking for a double, can't quite get it. Sicko clears it downfield. Rhodey looking for the big boom straight to Bachman, who clears it away. And this ping pong ball, Bagels, just does not seem to be working right now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working for either team, but it's just a matter of time before a mistake comes out like that. Now opportunity for Sicko, putting his way past two, but Vontae bailing out the Wisps. And actually, Diffusion not in the driver's seat here for Game 3, unlike Game 1, Game 2. At double-digit shot totals, they're only sitting at 4, and Wisps not that far behind, sitting at 3, but still looking like Diffusion have had the majority of pressure here in this Game 3. And there's another big save right there, but as the ping pong has stopped and the ball being locked in the corner has begun.
Yeah, the offensive rotation from Diffusion is looking so good right now as they're just keeping uh, Wisp locked in that one little quadrant, starving them of boost, and Sicko sends it right back down to him. Following it up, it's a double touch
Oh
off the
my!
ground. Oh my God, Sicko!
And that was not a freebie. That was a great goal coming out from Sicko and Vontae. Just kind of starstruck and flat foot on the ground. He could have maybe saved it if he had somehow predicted that Sicko would get that insane angle, but finally a really good goal coming out from Diffusion. And once again, sitting in the driver's seat, even though they don't have high shot totals this game. And now, under a minute left, Wisps are going to have to find a comeback before they fall in this Game 3 and sit at that all too threatening 3-0 deficit in the series, and it's looking like it might be heading that way.
Yeah, Sicko with a great touch. It bounces perfectly, and no one on that back post for Wisp, and Caltarded hits the open net. Pretty easy shot, and the defensive rotations, Bagels, for the Wisps are just not looking great.
Yeah, and I feel like the rotations aren't bad. It's just a matter of mechanical mistakes and decision making. It looks like they're in the right spot most of the time, but they just aren't there to seal the deal. And then on top of the slight miscues and decision making coming out, it just looks like Diffusion are the faster team at the moment and the more accurate team, as another lapse of judgment is going to leave the net open, but Sicko can't find the accuracy on that one. But I'm thinking at this point it might be over for the Wisps, but then again, it hasn't been one goal games, but it definitely seems like the Wisps are in contention for this series. They're just that much farther behind Diffusion, and this was a similar case to how Diffusion played on Acceleration. It felt like they could go toe-to-toe with Acceleration, but they weren't even able to find a win in the series. And thinking the same might be going on here for Wisps.
Yeah, it's definitely being set up right now to where the Novice League is nothing but sweeps. Uh, the Wisp need to figure something out so that they don't fall into that unfortunate situation of being swept out of playoffs. But like you said, it's not been blowout games. The shot totals have been crazy lopsided, but the scoreboard hasn't been, and it seems like the Wisp are just missing that one little thing to put them over the top.
Yeah, and I think once again it kind of just comes down to the chemistry, and it's looked better game two, game three. The rotation has been there. There hasn't been too many double commits. It looks like everybody's in the right spot, but when it just comes down to that moment to moment gameplay, the Wisps are just not clutching up. They're not making the touches, not making quality touches, or just not finding the touches at all. As Diffusion, all three players are bearing down on their net, primarily Sicko. Sicko's just been the carry here for Diffusion, while Tarded and Knock Bachman have been getting those passing plays, getting the bumps, making the plays, while Sicko is getting those big solo plays and those big double taps, apparently.
Yeah, if I had to give an MVP, an early before the series is over MVP, it would have to go to Sicko, who's put up so many like just great stats and good shots, and definitely one of the faster players out there. Is this ball bounces over Rhodey and Caltardi puts it on net. War sends it just far enough to save it, and Rhodey clears it away. Vontae gets it over Bachman. Sicko sends this one down and in. Caltarded up, but can't quite get it. As Rhodey gonna send this one away again. Vontae finally gets it out of their half, and now Diffusion looking to return the favor, get this one out of their half, and for some reason the Wisp don't follow that ball, and Diffusion gets a free clear. Ok Bachman looking to make something happen, can't quite get there, as Caltarded keeps this one in, and finally Vontae sends this one to the backboard. There to follow it up with boost, going for a demo, can't quite get it, and finally we have a extended stay for the Wisp offense.
And not much as it's going right back to the other side. But definitely, again, it just seems like they're getting incrementally better with each other, but it's still not enough to rival that of Diffusion, as two players bump each other on Diffusion. Could be an opportunity, as Cal, unable to find the touch either, but Rhodey unable to put that one on the net. But does seem like they're doing better, but Wari flips past the ball, and an opportunity gone awry for Wisps, surely.
Yeah, if you're War, you definitely want that one back. But thankfully, your team, their defense is strong enough to stop that from getting bad. As War puts it into the corner, looking to get a touch, but Sicko beats him to the ball. Vontae flips past it. War gets caught in an awkward spot, and Ok Bachman gonna play this into the wall. Rhodey finally gets it down, but Cal Darted said no. That ball's going right back into your half. An awkward ball. War pinches it across. Sicko looking to capitalize on this, but War sends it down to Rhodey. Rhodey takes a shot on an empty net, and it goes just wide. Rhodey popping this one out. Sicko just too fast. Is this ball gonna be in the Wisp half? Cal Tarted off the wall, but Vontae finally clears it out. Sicko looking to reset on defense as Vontae passes this one down to Rhodey, and Sicko clears it. All three players from the Wisp committed too far as Rhodey just barely makes it back in time. And Bagels, that was scary for the Wisp.
Yeah, it was equally as scary for Diffusion. There is a series of big clears. Here's another one in Ward this time. He's not missing that open net. And that very well could be their first lead in the series, actually.
Uh, I think they got the kickoff goal last game, but other than that, it's the first extended lead as they they definitely earned that one, and that was a quick series of a lot of transitions, and definitely favored the Wisp there as Vontae bumps one off the ball. all they have to do to avoid being swept is stall for a minute and a half, and that is easier said than done as uh, War beats Sicko. Caltarded, third man, gets a touch. Vontae sending this one off the backboard, off the crossbar, and in.
That was a great shot coming out from Vontae. I'm not quite sure if he meant to do that, but man, that was a really good pre-flip to fling that one onto the net, and I think that was Ak Bachman who was last back, and that's just, even if he did get up for that ball, that would have been a hard one to save. And honestly, in this game, when I was talking about the moment-to-moment gameplay, Diffusion have really missed out on an opportunity to close out this series, as I think we saw in the earlier minutes, the Wisps were just under so much pressure on defense. There were so many whiffs and just so many opportunities where Diffusion could score. And now, on the opposite side with that whiff, it's looking like Diffusion are maybe feeling the panic. But then again, this is what happened in my series. We went up 3-0 and we kind of threw a game and then immediately won the next one. So maybe Diffusion just need to reset themselves here heading into Game 4, assuming that the Wisps can hold on to this 2-0 lead.
And with Sicko moving it down the field, definitely trying to give them a chance, but War looking to shut that down as the Wisp have settled in on defense, and Vontae gonna send this one downfield. Rhodey in a little bit of an awkward spot, gets a good touch, controlling this one past two players. Og Bachman sends it down, following it up himself, but the Wisp just wasting time as War plays it a dangerous ball, and Sicko gets a dunk, and there's 4 seconds left.
Yeah, and that was just a big whiff coming out from Vontae. War, he balls out Rhodey, and he tries to make a last-ditch save, and he got it, but Sicko muscling his way through, and now they're going to have to hope they don't give up another crucial kickoff goal.
And that's a good start as Sicko sends it down. War, oh, it's
Oh
over!
my
Oh my
goodness.
god! Oh my god!
It
If
would have been a kickoff goal.
if there was one more second on the clock, oh man, what that would have been impressive. But the Wisps fortunately avoid getting swept as they take their first game of the series. And Bagels, this is also the first game of the series where Diffusion did not have double-digit shots.
This is also the first game in the series where Diffusion have not beat Wisps in shots, as not by much. Wisps with 7, Diffusion with 6, but either way, a little bit of a confidence booster here for Wisps. They got a long way to go. They got to win 3 more in a row, but definitely the way they've been playing, I feel like they should have taken at least one, maybe 2 other games in this series. Not that Diffusion have not been looking powerful here on the pitch. Certainly game 1, game 2, those double-digit shot totals, the one game where they almost had 15, they surely should have won those. But last few games, Wisps are starting to heat up, but on the flip side, Diffusion could easily crack down on those mistakes on defense and shut down Wisps on the other side here heading into game 5.
Yeah, and that's a big encouragement and momentum booster if you're the Wisp, just knowing that you can take a game off of them. As Rhodey can't quite make the touch, and Sicko puts one in for the early lead.
And I feel like this has been the narrative all series. This is now the 5th, almost 6th kickoff goal they've given up if that one had an extra second at the end of game 4. And if they have any hope of staying alive in this series, they got to figure something out on these kickoffs. I don't know if it looks like Sicko's doing a little bit of a speed flip there, beating defenders or the other side on the kickoff multiple times. And even when it's not Sicko on the kickoff, it just looks like Wisps are getting dominated every single time on the face-off. And I really don't know what else to say at this point. They just got to win the kickoff.
And Wisp Rhodey with a threatening shot, but couldn't quite get it as the net was open. And I agree with you, Bagels. Someone has to man up and go play ones so that they can just learn how to kick off better. As this series has been strongly dictated by the kickoff. And Og Bachman looking to put some pressure on, maybe go up 2 goals as Caltarded takes a shot and Rhodey saves it off his own crossbar. And Diffusion looking to take the lead and maybe even the series.
continuous pressure coming out, but Wisps able to hold on defense as long as it's not a kickoff opportunity from Diffusion. Most of the time, it does seem like their defense is solid, and another opportunity here, but Rhodey, too much of a slow roller to make that one dangerous, and this time, Diffusion starting to look dangerous. Only a minute and a half in, and they're sitting at 5 shots, so they're looking back to get back to their Game 1, Game 2 selves. And if you're the Wisps right now, you need to find a way to suffocate them on the other side.
Yeah, and even though they are down a goal, Vontae hits the open net. Somehow, the Fusion just got pushed up too far, and a great way to tie it up.
And Sicko did the Wisps a little bit of a favor right there by popping that one to the midfield, but net was open on the other half, or the left side there, and good shot placement from Vontae as Coutarded had the right side covered. And I mean, hey, as long as the Wisps are going to keep giving up kickoff goals, they will take the freebies on the other end of the pitch. But they're going to have to see if they can be as consistent on defense, as there's a not subpar touch right there. But looking better here.
Yeah, it seems like once the Wisps survive the kickoff, they are a much better team, able to lock it down and play both sides of the ball. As once again the ball is in Diffusion's half, Vontae looking to keep it there, but Og Bachman in the right spot. Coutarded plays it over War, but Rhodey with the big clear. Sicko catches it, can't quite get it over Rhodey, but Og Bachman there to send it up high. Coutarded can't quite get the follow up, makes Og Bachman miss, and Vontae plays it to the wall. Plays it downfield. Coutarded with a great touch off the backboard, and Sicko with a miss that's unusual for him. Vontae plays it down to War, who gets stopped by Ok Bachman. Coutarded can't quite get the touch as Vontae gonna send it down, and the Wisp looking to put some offense on as Sicko stops a shot to the near post. Ball sends it across to War, who plays it up high and bagels. That looked like another missed opportunity there from the Wisps.
Yeah, War, kind of a tough shot. He just had to find a way to put some leverage on that one down, but Vontae will get the goal bouncing off the ceiling, and all 3 players there for Diffusion just couldn't find the touch.
What an angle as this ball bounces at the tightest angle to go off the ceiling, off the ground, and in. That's a tough read no matter what rank you're at, as kickoff goes into Diffusion's favor, and Ok Bachman gets dunked down to his half. Sicko looking to control it, but can't quite get there as Rhodey takes an absolute banger of a shot onto the net.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Rhodey scored at some point in the series earlier than this, if I just had to take a guess, but many a time I've seen Rhodey take a good shot in this series and it's just missed its mark, and a few insurance goals, or not even insurance goals, go-ahead goals, or chances to tie it up, have fallen short in the earlier games because Rhodey and War have failed, or honestly, everybody on Wisps have failed to find their shots, but definitely hitting their accuracy here in Game 5. That's a big save coming out from Vontae as they're sitting at 60% shooting right now. And I feel like that's been another one of their big problems, has been the shooting percentage for the Wisps.
Yeah, absolutely. But now that they're being a little more accurate and their defense is being solid, these games are starting to lean in their favor. And if they keep it up, eventually the series might be in their favor as well, as Vontae just killing time in the corner. Sicko popping it up, but then feels backflip as Rhodey plays it just off the side. Vontae there, but a good defensive effort keeps that one out of the net. Sicko transitioning onto offense, plays this one into the corner. Ok Bachman takes a shot, and the demo previously left the goal wide open.
Yeah, and the net actually wasn't quite open. Vontae was back, and he kind of just stutter stepped for a second guessing himself, and by the time he did decide to go up, was able to slip its way through, and indecision on the Wisps' defensive third. It's going to allow Diffusion to get a goal here. And they got a little bit of time to work with, but certainly possible to tie this one up.
That's
And it's
Coutarded.
going to go in.
Oh my god! A great bounce off this ramp, or off the sidewall, and Caltarda with an impeccable read puts it over two defenders.
Yeah, and kind of one of the few times I have seen the Wisps double commit, and they both jumped up and both just got edged out on that shot. And even if somebody stayed back, that was a great shot coming out right there. And now Wisps, the ones who have blown this 2-goal lead, and surely they were thinking ahead towards game 6, but now they still have to think about game 5 here, and they're gonna have to clutch up here another overtime. The last overtime they lost.
Yeah, and another scary kickoff is it looked like that could have been a shot, and Sicko sends it downfield. Caltarded can't quite get the touch. Og Bachman sends it down. Caltarded puts it in the box, but Og Bachman can't quite get it in the net as Sicko playing this one off the back wall. Caltarded up. Caltarded saves his flip and puts it in.
Yeah, and I feel like at the end of the day, it was just the kickoffs. Another big kickoff to start off that overtime for Diffusion, and just when the Diffusion kickoffs were going in their favor, it was just so much pressure, and the Wisps could not contain that once again in that overtime, and two short overtimes for Diffusion in that series, and I think both of them resulting off that kickoff pressure.
Yeah, definitely kickoffs and double commits really dictating that series. Is it seemed like the kickoffs highly favored Diffusion, but uh, whenever there was a double commit, both teams were sure to capitalize on it. And even though it was a 4-1, it was still a great series. And Wisp, you have nothing to be ashamed of. You played a great game with a sub. Kept it close for most of the games, but Diffusion uh, edges this one out, and they move on to play the Kiwis, the number one seeded team, and Bagels. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I think Novice and Prospect. I mean, generally, actually, I think all the Final Four here, as we're gonna have to figure out who the rest of the Final Four here are in Challenger and Rival, but at least as far as Titan, Novice, and Prospect are concerned, all these semifinal matches are going to be looking pretty spicy. And Novice, nonetheless, on the top side, we got the Whelps going off against the mighty acceleration that we saw on Wednesday, and Diffusion were on the other end of that beating, but returned the favor to Wisps with their own. And going off against Kiwis, I haven't seen Kiwis in quite a while, but at least as far as their record is concerned, and I know you're AGM on the other side. I'm pretty sure you got confidence in your boys right there.
They may have taken a game off of us in a scrim, but we're gonna keep that one on the down low. As the Kiwis do look really good, but a lot of these teams in the novice league, especially if Sicko plays like he did today, it's going to be a great series. But that does it for us today here in the novice league. Thank you for joining us, and please be sure to stay tuned as we are about to head to the rival league where we have Lightspeed taking on the Grave Lords. Another fast-paced game of two really good teams, and we will catch you there. Peace.